You're watching ChillyBoy Productions. I'm Larry ChillyBoy Chilson, and this is my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Before we get into this review, make sure to go ahead and click that subscribe button down below so that you can chill with me each and every one of my latest videos. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 sees our ragtag team of unlikely heroes return once more for one final go round when they are being hunted for an invaluable prize that leads them on a journey to face their past in order to gain a future. Film is once again written and directed by James Gunn, starring Chris Pratt, Zoe Saldana, Palm Clementine, Dave Bautista, Bradley Cooper, and Vin Diesel. Guardians of the Galaxy, the weird little enigma of the MCU. Now, I do really enjoy the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Don't love Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. I enjoyed these characters in their small bouts, whether it's in the Avengers team up films they've been in, or the little bit we got in Thor Love and Thunder. The trailers for this film looked amazing, so emotionally charged. Ugh, knowing this is it for James Gunn with these characters, I was really excited to experience this film. And I got to see it in IMAX at this fan event IMAX screening a week before the official release date. And yeah, I loved this film. Honestly, I think this is pretty much a perfect way to conclude the Guardians of the Galaxy trilogy. So let's go ahead and talk about the positives first. Let's start with director James Gunn, because I actually think this is his best directing so far to date. The camera work, the sleekness, the style is amazing. And in honesty, for me, on a whole nother level from the first two Guardians of the Galaxy films. We have one shots, we have this amazing, cool, innovative camera work throughout that gives this really fun, kinetic energy to this film. The cinematography is also stunning. This film just looks amazing, which makes it a whole lot of fun to just watch. I love that we really focus in on the emotion here. Anyways, this is definitely Rocket's film, and we delve into that backstory like we see in those trailers. And it's a great story, and it made me love the character of Rocket even more. And it was such a wonderful way to root this film in heart and in empathy, because actually, empathy and understanding is a huge theme for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. And I love that we really brought it back around to that, because this team can go wayward. That was actually part of my big problems in Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, is that we had all this family stuff going on, but a lot of particularly the humor was so mean spirited that it took away from that fun family aspect. Here, we still have the snarky humor, but it is all just rooted in this idea of empathy that it works. But Rocket is fantastic. Star-Lord is once again fantastic. Chris Pratt is great in this role, and I do like the journey that Peter Quill goes on. Nebula, oh, a scene stealer here, and love her journey as well. Surprisingly, love what they did with Gamora, one of the big question marks heading into this third film after Endgame. What happens with Gamora? And I thought what they did with her character here was fantastic. And particularly, I love where we end up with that character at the end. Groot, I was scared because I love Groot. I loved Groot in the first film. I loved little Groot. I love baby Groot. Teenage Groot, we didn't get much time with him, but when I saw the design for Groot here, I got real nervous. However, he kind of returns in many ways to the Groot in the first film and serves as a big source of the heart here in this film. Drax and Mantis are both fun. Mantis, I think, actually has a little bit more heavy lifting to do in this film, and she gets a lot more moments to shine. But a big unexpected scene stealer for me was Will Poulter as Adam Warlock. I thought he was fantastic. I loved his character. I They took him in a direction I was not anticipating to go with, and I thought it was a great decision. Also love that the film is very strong in its anti-animal testing stance, which of course, again, makes perfect sense when one of your main leads is Rocket Raccoon. I loved how they handled that whole animal testing bit. Loved the soundtrack. I pretty much loved every single song that they plugged into this thing. I was jamming throughout. So once again, a big staple to this franchise, and it knocks it out of the park with some great selections. It has heart. I was laughing pretty much throughout the runtime. Film has a ton of heart. I was laughing throughout the runtime. I was so emotionally invested in what was happening. Honestly, I really can't imagine them doing a much better job giving this team the send off it deserved. Then, what doesn't work so well when it comes to Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? I will say pacing is probably the biggest inconsistency with this film. That really came down to two things for me. The first one is the MCU humor formula. Now, I said I was laughing pretty much throughout the film, and that's true. I would say I laughed at two-thirds of the jokes. That other third is the problem, though, and a big criticism of the MCU rears its ugly head once more in this film because a lot of the time they inject humor at a big emotional point. So while you're really getting emotionally sucked into the scene and to what's happening, they do something kind of goofy or wonky and it's supposed to be a joke. It does a disservice to what's happening rather than enhance the emotion of the moment. The other issue with the pacing comes in the way they did flashbacks. There's a lot of flashbacks in this film. Actually, it's quite flashback heavy in honesty because we do a lot of exploring Rocket's backstory. But the flashbacks kind of just come at you. They just kind of throw them in there. There's not good segues to go into the flashback needed, and I enjoyed the backstory that we got, and I liked being a part of the flashbacks. Just the transitions in and out, and sometimes even where they were placed in the momentum of the story, that really disrupted the flow of the film overall. That led to the latter half of the second act really starting to feel long, started to drag a little bit. I'm also still a little bit confused about the motive of our villain. Why did he pick these specific entities? Seek out his goal, his building block plan. In a vague sense, once again, I'm left wondering why Earth is the center of everything, why everybody knows everything about Earth, the different species, the different cultures. Kind of left wondering, like, what's the purpose behind his plan? Why did he go about this very odd way of trying to obtain it? Overall, I really, really enjoyed this film, maybe even more than I had anticipated. I was going in with some skepticism, excited, but not fully convinced quite yet. And I left the theater feeling like that was a great send off. I left the theater feeling as if I had just seen a fantastic send off to these beloved characters. Really got me emotional. It had me emotionally attached and invested from start to finish. I had a goofy smile on my face throughout the times I wasn't on the brink of tears. I was jamming, I was having a ball. I think any Guardians of the Galaxy fan is going to have a great time with this third volume. So my recommendation, if you're an MCU fan and if you enjoy the Guardians of the Galaxy, you definitely need to give this a full price ticket. It's wonderful. So that is my review for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, go ahead, Click like down below and subscribe to the channel so that you are always up to date on all of my latest videos. Also, join in on the discussion. Are you excited to see Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3? Or did you also get to check it out at an early screening? Let me know your thoughts either in the comment section down below, or you can hit me up on Twitter. I love you all so much for your continued support. Mwah! Thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time. Bye.